Okay, here we are going to make bread. Remember, this is only one style of bread. There's many others, but this is the one that we make. Okay, so Eunice is going to start demonstrating.
Okay, first we start off with 3 eggs in this bowl here. We pour them in the processor and we beat it to a thickness to them. I used to hand beat them, but I found this faster. So just let this do it. And while that's doing that, I start preparing the almond flour. I use two cups and then a cup with this measuring cup here. And you see how thick that egg is now? You can let it keep blending or you can turn it off. Whatever you prefer is good now. It's thick. And I pour this in here. Okay, good. This almond flour make a mess. You gotta keep a handle on it. I put the almond flour in here slowly, and I used to pour it all in there too fast, and it turns so thick that it makes you have to take the whole machine apart. So I learned a little trick. I start slow with those 2 cups first. I add a little bit of water, and I blend this first. And I go slowly and do the bread slowly. See how it is now? Before I didn't do this. It used to get real thick. But now, it does it because I add that little bit of water. Now I turn it off. If you can, if you want to, you don't have to. And I pour me another 2 cups. See, that thing kind of gets away from me a little bit, so I always have my hand on it because it make a mess. Then I do the same thing with this one. Pour it in here. Sometimes I have a little bit of muffin left over, but I'd rather have more than I need than not enough. And I fill my muffin pans pretty full, make nice sized muffins. Then I take this water again and put a little bit in here so it don't mess up the machine, because this stuff is thick. Now see, this is what I'm going to show you now when I don't do enough, how thick it gets. See, that's real thick. So I stop it and I add a little bit more. You don't have to measure the water, just do it a little bit at a time. You can't hurt it with a little bit of it because it's thick. Now it's mixing better, but it's still thick. But that's okay, let it go ahead. Because I still got another cup to put in here. 1 cup more. And add more water too. I just don't want it to stop up the machine. That's why I do that, because I used to have to take it all apart, make a whole mess of the kitchen. The dough was all sticky and hard to work with. So I learned to do it the slower way. Comes out real good. Put more water again and mix. Don't have to worry about it being so smooth, but you want it not to stop the machine from functioning. Now that's doing that. I'm going to take my butter and I'm going to put it in this bowl here. I'm going to melt it up a little bit. In the microwave. The butter's melting now. You see, this is the honey we use. It's a cooking honey from Costco's or whatever store you have like Costco's, a good honey like that. We take this measuring cup like this and we fill this cup up. It says like 1 cup, measuring cup. Don't have to be too all the way full, but you know, to your sweetness. He don't like it real sweet. So I'll stop it like 1/4 of the. I'll leave a little space in the cup. The honey helps smooth the dough out, give it a nice smooth texture. So you don't have to worry about adding too much water, because that's going to take care of it. And we don't put a lot of honey because he wants a bread, not a cake, he says. And I just pour it in. I let my spoon help me. Get it all out. It's a real thick honey. It's not like the honey that you might use in your tea. It's a little thicker. You can get it at Costco's or Sam's Club. Whatever you have in your area. I don't believe Kirby getting me to do this because I don't do pictures or none of that stuff.
You're doing an excellent job.
Now we got that in here. We're going to mix it up. That texture's getting smoother and smoother. There's no amount of time to mix it. You just mix it until it gets smooth. On the sides, I noticed there's a little stuff that didn't get there, so I just helped it along. Now we're going back and get that butter that I put in the microwave. It don't have to be melted all the way, just enough to help it. I'll show you. It don't have to be. This also makes the almond smooth. All of it helps it smooth out. Important next step, that if you forget this step, you might as well throw your whole bread away. You have to remember the baking soda because it makes the bread rise. Otherwise, the bread is no good. You're going to have to throw the whole batch away. Put all your things you need on the table first. That's what I do. Everything's on the table. My eggs, my baking soda, my honey, my butter. I put all that out first in all my measuring cups so I don't forget, because one time I forgot this baking soda and my whole project was ruined. Now that's nice and smooth. Get our pan out. We're going to butter this pan like you butter any pan that you use it. Just let it sit in a minute. I'm gonna butter my pan. You can turn it off. You can let it keep going. I make me a glove. I also use a spray sometime if you have one of those spray items. But this butter seems too hard to go, so I gotta help it along a little bit. Just a second. It's not melted. I just made it a little soft so I can work with it like you would do any other bread you're making. Then I use this as my glove and just butter my pan real good.
You use baking soda because the bread don't have any yeast, right?
Yes. To make it rise. Otherwise, your whole project is ruined. Not like the regular flour with yeast in it. If you don't use that baking soda, you're ruined. Now I've learned to make my bread so smooth. I used to have to pat it and bang it. But now it's so smooth the way I do it, I can pour it in my measuring cup now. I used to couldn't do that because I used to use the method in the book. And it didn't smooth the bread out like this. But now, I just pour it in there. And it's so much easier. 20 minutes the bread be in the oven at 375. You pour it in there. It's very moist. It could even be, I could even make it smoother. Usually it's smoother than even this, but this is good. And I just pour it. Make my muffins the size I want. Pour another batch. And another batch. Fill my cup back up. Keep going like that till I use all my flour. I don't find it hard at all now. And usually, like I said, it's smoother than this. But I took it a little easier on the water for you. Because I don't want you to overdo it with it. But you're going to love them. And it's not hard. You do this in a little bit of time. And have your bread for the week. You put your bread in the freezer and warm it up as you want it. So it don't go bad. Because when you got the heat on in the summer or the different temperatures in the house, the bread not having yeast can go bad. So we learned that little trick to keep it in the refrigerator or the freezer and pull it out as we need it. If you're working, you can make your two. You get set. I have a Sunday that I usually do all of this, the bread and stuff for a week. So he can just pour one out for breakfast and put it on in the microwave. Usually I don't even use the spoon that much because it's smoother than that. If you ever make it and it's not smooth enough and you want to pat it a little bit, you wet your hands and pat it down. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I hate wasting it because it's expensive, so I try to get it out of here. You take your hands and wet your hands, and you can pat it. But have your hands wet so it don't stick to them. Then I wet them again, and I pat my muffins. And any place not full, I'll fill it. You can fill it up more if you want to. And I put it in the oven.
Is the oven already preheated when you do it?
375, already preheated. Just like any other bread. You will have your oven getting hot. And you first use this, to know the bread is ready, use a toothpick. And when you stick the toothpick down in there after 20 minutes, it'll let you know if you bring something up damp that the bread is not ready. But I just know 20 minutes to 25 minutes is good. I'll pour it out and take it right out and put it in this pan. So now you know how to make the almond bread.
So we'll come back when we take it out the oven on part 2. Go.
Okay, we're taking the bread out now. 20 to 25 minutes should look like this. It smells so good, it makes the house smell like vanilla. Make sure you keep everything out on the table that you need before you start your process so you won't forget anything. I still do that habit. I put everything that I'm going to use for the bread out. Then I go from side to side with the butter knife. And then I do it on this side and this side. And I still feel it not stick in here somewhere. So I have to make sure it gets up. Okay. And I have this pan like this. I'll put it in this, like a plastic shoebox. It works out good for us. This bread is good and hot. I put it in here, let it cool, and then I put it in a bag like this, 30-gallon freezer bag, and put them in the freezer once they cool off. And he warms them up 1 minute and 20 seconds in the morning with his breakfast. And he has his bread ready already in advance. If he decides to have a cup of tea at night, he can have a piece of bread. Not all the time, but sometimes he does that. Keep working it till you get it loose. Because some big muffins this time. Nice and full. See? And hot. I just move this, push the bread aside like that with the butter knife on both sides so I can see the side. If you have any questions, you could call me.